Money FM 89.3, the best of the afternoon update. The afternoon update with Lynlee Foo.
Hey there, that's right. It's me, Lynlee, keeping you company from now till 4 p.m. Hope you're having a lovely Tuesday. Great to have you with me on this very warm afternoon. Now, at this year's National Day rally, Prime Minister Lawrence Wong made it clear jobs are the heartbeat of Singapore's progress, from reskilling mid-career workers to preparing graduates for an AI-driven future. The message was clear. Economic growth has to be people first. But here's the contrast. ADP's People at Work 2025 report, released just a few months ago, found that only 1 in 3 Singaporeans feel they have the skills to advance their careers. So where's the disconnect? And how should employers across industries step up? Joining me now is Yvonne Teo, Vice President of HR APAC at global HR and payroll solutions company ADP. Yvonne, welcome to Industry Insight.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Yvonne, at the National Day rally, as I mentioned, PM Wong reassured Singaporeans that even as AI reshapes industries, they remain at the heart of the country's economic strategy. And he also noted some roles will change or disappear, but new jobs will also emerge with a new CDC-led job matching initiative to help connect workers to these opportunities. Yvonne, ADP's People at Work 2025 survey adds another layer to this conversation. While the government is focused on reskilling and matching workers to jobs, your findings show only 1 in 3 Singaporeans feel they have the skills to progress. What are your thoughts on this? How do the findings line up with what was highlighted at this year's NDR?
I think that's right, Lynlee. So the recent findings from ADP shows that reskilling remains a key priority for workers. And this finding actually echoes very strongly the themes from the recent National Day rally, which emphasized continuous learning and adaptability. And they're both really vital for Singapore's growth and resilience. However, in Singapore, only 23% of the employees feel confident that they have the skills to progress. But that also means that there is an opportunity for employers to invest more intentionally in upskilling and in providing clear career pathways. And through, offering targeted training, mentorship, and opportunities for stretch assignments, employers can then help employees build that confidence and capabilities needed for advancement. And of course, by doing this, it not only addresses the skill gaps that's required for business and, of course, in the face of AI, it also boasts engagement and retention. We know that employees are more likely to stay with organizations that actively support their growth and support their potential.
Yvonne, before we get to the what to do now, let's, rewind a little bit, get back to the why of this finding. Because 1 in 3 Singapore workers feel ready to progress. That means 2/3 don't. So can you share what's driving this confidence gap and what employers can do to close it? So tell us, how do we get here?
I think there are several factors that contribute to the current state. So, for example, unclear career paths. Maybe, perhaps limited access to development opportunities or even lack of feedback or mentorship from the workers' managers. And of course, I think there's also some uncertainty about what skills are valued, in the face of, very quickly changing technology environment at the moment. So, all these factors can actually leave employees feeling really unprepared. So again, I think, there's a big role that employers can play by closing this gap, making career pathways more transparent, investing in upskilling and reskilling programs, and providing the regular feedback and coaching. So, of course, encouraging open conversations about growth and recognizing progress to help build both confidence and capability. I think, all these would actually help building that confidence in employees.
Yeah, certainly. And I think training without a clear runway can feel like running in circles. The context and visibility matter as much as the content. Now, Yvonne, for young people just starting out, that first job can really set the tone for years ahead. So how can employers design those experiences so they build confidence rather than just tick boxes from the start?
I think first and foremost, it's their first job, they don't know what to expect. I think employers can help by providing clear and structured onboarding. I think that's the first phase that you show to the new employees and help establish the process that help new hires feel welcome and, help them understand expectations. And perhaps also assigning a mentor or a buddy who can provide them with ongoing support and a very safe space for questions. I think there would be a lot of questions, especially from, people who are actually on their first job. And as they move forward, and perhaps employers can also start thinking about offering some rotational experiences across different functions. So, these early career employees can then gain a broader perspective and develop versatile skills. So regular feedback, again, I think, same with the existing or older, more experienced workers, I think regular feedback and achievable milestones would actually help them in reinforcing that learning and self-belief.
Okay. And I think it's a win-win, right? That mindset shift helps employers too. It builds loyalty early and strengthens the long-term talent pipeline as well. Now, your survey found workers who fear being replaced by AI are almost twice as likely to be job hunting. I think that's a big risk for retention. So why does this anxiety run so deep, and how should leaders address it?
I think this uncertainty is actually a very natural response to change. But unfortunately, this anxiety is heightened by unclear communication, again, lack of training opportunities, or they actually witness that roles around them become automated or being outsourced. So employers can, address this by openly discussing how technology will impact roles, providing, again, continuous learning and upskilling programs so that they actually add more value. Employees add more value rather than, just looking and experiencing the change without understanding what their pathways are. So highlighting success stories can be good examples to show employees, especially showcasing employees who have adapted and grown with technology can help to build that confidence. And once again, providing a clear development opportunities and recognizing contributions and help employees feel valued. And I think, by doing all these, they will feel less threatened by change.
Yes, indeed. I think when people see AI as a tool that supports their work rather than replaces it, it makes them feel valued as well. I think more secure and valued. So I suppose AI rollout has to be paired with reassurance, or else the fear just drives people out before the benefits are realized. So another striking finding in the ADP survey, 60% of Singapore workers live paycheck to paycheck compared to 57% globally. That's a worrying figure for a high-income economy. So beyond raising salaries, what can employers do to support financial resilience?
Indeed, it's quite worrying. I think employers can move beyond salary by looking at, maybe a more holistic support. So, for example, financial wellness programs, providing flexible benefits, some mental health resources, and career development opportunities. Because I think, if you're at a high-level job, that also provides more income. So I think, coming back to financial wellness programs, I think that helps, educating the workers in terms of budgeting, for example, savings plans and access to perhaps financial advisors. I think this helps, employees to manage the money more confidently. And flexible benefits allow employees to actually tailor their benefits like insurance and leave. I think all these actually play a role in helping, workers better manage their finances. And, I can't not talk about mental health resources, especially in living in this day and age. There's a lot of requirement and also focus on mental health. That's right. So, I think companies has a big role to play when it comes to providing counseling, stress management tools. And, this can also help to address burnout and anxiety. And back to your point, really, it's a win-win for both employers and employees when it comes to career development. So, I think this will continue to be a big factor that will drive both business and employees forward. in this changing environment.
Yeah, I think it's about reducing stresses, not just financial stress, but mental stress as well. I think it's very important to give workers that headspace to focus and perform. Now, nearly half of Singaporeans feel judged for using flexible work in the report, much higher than the global average. That suggests culture hasn't caught up with policy. So what's behind this perception, and how can leaders perhaps rebuild trust?
I think from our experience, these perceptions of judgment around flexible work often arises from inconsistent policies in the organizations. Or, sometimes there's also lack of visible leadership support. And, sometimes it can be very subtle, like colleagues working longer hours in their offices, and then they actually receive praises from the managers. I think these are all practices that make people feel uneasy about, having to request for flexibility.
Yeah.
So when expectations are not clear and leaders themselves actually rarely use these flexible options, then employees naturally become more worried about, being seen as less committed. So I think, what a lot of leaders can do is to, build that culture of trust by maybe modeling flexibility themselves, communicating the policies, clearly, and recognizing outcomes rather than, the hours in the office. So encouraging open dialogue about what flexibility looks like for the different roles, and of course also celebrating examples of successful flexible arrangements. And this could, help, normalize, these practices and reduce the stigma.
Yes. Otherwise, hybrid really becomes a trap, right? It's written into policy, yet punished in practice.
Exactly.
Now, Yvonne, if there's one action you would urge employers across industries to take from ADP's 2025 report, what would it be?
In the top priority for employers from ADP's 2025 findings, it's investing in people development or employee development, being specifically upskilling and reskilling. So with the rapid technological change and the evolving job requirements, employers has a big role to play in helping employees build new capabilities, not only to address skill gaps currently, but, make them ready, future ready, and that both engagement and confidence as well as retention. So organizations that make learning a core part of their culture, I think will be best positioned to succeed in this changing world.
Okay, Yvonne, thank you so much for sharing your insights today with us.
Thank you for having me.
And she's Yvonne Teo, Vice President of HR Asia Pacific at ADP. ADP is a global leader in payroll and human capital management, providing workforce solutions to over 1 million clients worldwide. You've been listening to Industry Insight on Money FM 89.3.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.